Welcome back. If you have just joined us, we do apologise for the interruption with the broadcast. Not sure why that is. We're back on the way for the race in itself as Chris leads from pole position. GTJ in second place. And look at Freeman looking around the outside into Murray's. GTJ rides the curbs, and that's going to give Freeman a run on him on the pit straight. Can't quite get the move done. There is a yellow flag being waved. Not sure why. Chica is in the pits. He must have had damage on that opening lap. And you can see GTJ running wide onto the grass. I think Cadee has decided to carry on as he is. Maybe get past another car or two. I'm not sure if Chica's going to choose to carry on, to be honest with you. Will Brizzle join the race from the pit lane? He will move up to 15th. And Brood has got past Freeman, so Brood passes the Audi, and it's now a BMW 1, 2 and 3. Cesar's dropping back as Parker's got past him. And now Slow looking to send him further down the order. There was a bit of contact there. Now has Cesar hit the barrier, I wonder, through that part of the circuit. And looks like a D has got in front of Williams by the looks of it. Now through the left-hander. And Chris still out in the lead. Down the Conrad straight. It's been a fine start to the race so far. Chris looking comfortable. He's already won a race this season in Kyalami. And it looks like Kadee has retired on circuit and he's in the pits and out. So it looks like his race has come to an end. It looks like Chica's race has come to an end as well. So two drivers seemingly out of the race. Neither of them go any further. Freeman running in 4th place behind Brood. Won't want to risk anything. That would be a solid position for him to finish. If he can finish 4th in the other 2 races, regardless of where the others finish, then he will be crowned champion whatever happens. Drifter, who came in tonight 3rd in the championship. He missed last week at Suzuka for whatever reason. He's under threat though from Parker, who's had a brilliant race so far. Could get even better for him here. So it looks like Keddy has retired from the race and Chica seems to have rejoining 15th, albeit a lap down now on the leaders. And Chris's gap is 3.6 seconds. GTJ holding up Brood and Friedman. Field coming through Forest Elbow. It's been a fine performance so far from Cassis. He just needs to keep his car on the circuit and not make any silly errors. And that's Williams, who's hit trouble at the moment. He's got damage to his machine. And is this going to be him out of the race, I wonder? He is really, really struggling. And Fresh Brizzle, or Brizzle I should say, has already got past Williams. So looks like Williams is, you can see his bonnet's all ruined there. And now we're on lap 4 of the race. Chris's lead is cut down slight is 3.2 seconds. As it stands, Chris will close in on Will Freeman by 12 points, which will narrow the gap between him and the Frenchman. What was 46 points will be cut down to 34 going into race 2. And Williams is in the pits in the Ginetta. Is this going to be the end of his race, or is he going to decide to continue? So proceeds, going through the S's. Now Williams will rejoin in 14th place because Chica was a lap down on him before he rejoined on the track. If Williams stays in the pits, then that will elevate Chica up a position. He'll just be playing for pride, to be honest with you, just get the car to the end. Could use the remainder of this race as a little test session. How quick proceeds through the chase there, and his gap is cut down by 2.7 seconds. And it looks like someone's had a moment. Is that SJF who's gone for a spin? Yeah, he's the next to go into the barrier. And I think his car has taken a bit of a beating. He's had a scrape at least anyway. Gap is down to 2.4 seconds between Proceeds and GTJ at the end of that last lap. And Williams seems to still be in the pits at the moment with all that damage he's got. And it looks like Hutch has been in the wars as well. And it looks like the BMW of Chica is just pulled to the side of the track and he's out of the race by the looks of it. So that's his race run. So there'll be no points for him in this one. So it's though that James Williams could well be out of this race as well. Now halfway into the race. And Chris on fire. And the BMW. It's got the gap back up to 2.7 seconds over him and GTJ. Go to our helicam and watch the battle for third. Heat up. Freeman taking a better line through the S's, so he may get a run on the BMW, exiting Forest Elbow. And through the common straight. Oh, that's it! Hit into the barrier there for Brood, and that's third place gone. Steve goes through as well, but Brood has hit the barrier on the exit of Forest Elbow, and that's going to see him drop down the order. He's going to lose a heap of places there. Down to 10th he goes. What a shame. What a terrible, terrible shame. We're on lap 6, or coming towards the end of lap 6. Or we've just started lap 6, I should say. Chris Sees is on the mountain straight. Still out in the lead. But will he keep that lead? At the end of the next 4 laps. I think we are going to be in for a 9-lap race now. And Cesar round the outside of Drifter, coming towards the right-hander that leads into the upper section. This is through Griffin's Bend. And Cesar's got through into 5th place round the outside of Drifter, so a very nice move there from Thomas Cesar. He's into 5th place. And Slow holding up Parker in the battle for 7th. Astral right in there as well. And then Brood some way back there in 10th place. Cannot keep his car. He's lost his rhythm totally after that earlier skirmish into the barrier. So the top two separated by less than 3 seconds. So the gap through sector 2 now is 2.8 seconds. And that's Prestige running wide there through the chase. And now the top two head through Murray's corner. It's 2.3 seconds. So GTJ responding to Precise's mistake. Freeman running well there in 3rd place. Steve 4th, Cesar 5th. And it's Drifter followed by Slow and Parker. Astral is 9th. Brood is catching back up to them again in 10th place. And it's Hutch who's still holding up Brizzle in the fight for 11th position. So Prestige continuing to open up the gap. It's 2.6 in sector 1. Now the field. It's a very interesting course, is this one of Mount Panorama, located in Bathurst, in the state of New South Wales, in Australia. And looks like Brizzle's got past Hutch on the mountain straight, so that's him through, no problem. And Drifter holding 6th position behind Cesar, who's catching up to Steve. So Prestige and GTJ in 1st and 2nd. There's 3 seconds now between the top two. Freeman in 10th there in 3rd. And the gap between Steve and Cesar, 4.8 it was in sector 1. And the gap is now 4.7. I think Parker's got ahead of Slow now, so Parker into 7th place ahead of the Aston Martin. We've got Astral being under threat from Brood. Brood nearly dropping it there as he took a ride over the curbs. And it looks like the Aston Martin, I think, is pulled out of the way to let Astral Racer through. So Slow, I wonder if he's had a bit of an issue. So 2.8 gap between the battle for the lead, and Slow's off the track. Cannot keep the car pointing the right way. And you want to get back on track, I would think. So Slow back out of the grass. And he'll lose time. Rejoin him. At least he's still in the race anyway. Sees on his penultimate lap. It'll be the final lap the next time he starts. Or comes round to that. 3.1 seconds between Chris and GTJ. Now Drifter is holding up Parker in the fight for 6th position. Parker doing very well. I'll say that again. Having a really good race. Drifter not quite as much. As they make their way through the S's. Gone past the 2-minute 15 mark, so this will be the last lap for sure for Chris. So that's 8 laps done. We're now on to the 9th and final lap. It's been a commanding performance from Chris. So the gap between Steve and Cesar was 4.4 through sector 2. What's the gap as they cross over the line? It's 3.4, so Cesar closing in, as is Parker with Drifter. And Brood behind. He's got past Astral Racer, who's ducked into the pits. No, you would have thought he'd have carried on. I don't know if he's had picked up too much damage on that previous lap. And SJF seems to have taken a lot of damage. He's into the pits now of the race. You can see that window smashed there, almost into pieces. The Astral Racer is in the pits. I'm not sure if he's going to carry on, to be honest with you. He should be classified as a finisher. We'll find out later on. That'll move Slow back into 9th place and Brizzle into 10th. Astral Racer seems to have continued on circuit now. He's just behind Brizzle in 11th place. So he will go to the checker flag for Charlotte, which is good to see. SJF rejoin him, a lap down. So he will get points by finishing in 13th. We'll go back to the leader, who is on course for victory, and it looks like Astral's race just binned it in the barrier there. I think it's either coming together with someone. Is it Brizzle who I think he's come together with? We'll come to that shortly. But this is Chris, who's about to take victory for the 2nd time this season. Chris wins the first race of the evening here in Mount Panorama. GTJ crosses over the line to keep his hopes in the championship alive with 2nd place. And it's Will Freeman who's going to be 3rd and on the podium. Excellent job from him. And then we've got Steve ahead of Cesar. Steve will be 4th, Cesar 5th. And we've got Parker who's just got in front of Drifter on that last lap. So Drifter at the moment down to 7th place. They're going to go side by side in tomorrow's Brood, looking to take advantage should these two come together. They're coming out of the last turn. It's going to be a drag race over the line. Parker takes 6th place away from Drifter. Brood is 8th. And then we've got Slow, who will be 9th. And then Brizzle, who has had a skirmish with the barrier after contact with Astral Racer. Well, Astral Racer's got in front of him, I look, by the looks of things. No, Brizzle's still ahead of him. And, that's Hutch there, who's taken a lot of damage to his machine. He'll be 12th behind Astral Racer. So Brizzle will be 10th after starting from the pit lane, which is not too bad of an effort. So by finishing in 10th place, Brizzle on debut should get a total of 4 team championship points. But the winner of the first race is Chris by 2 seconds over GTJ. Very, very well done to him. A great start to his evening. There's Hutch coming through. I just want to get over the line now, get this race done. There we go. So Here is your race order or race result of the first one. Chris Ease wins by 2 seconds over GTJ, then it's Freeman third, Steve fourth, then it's Cesar in fifth. Parker, Drifter, Brood, Slow, and Brizzle running up the top 10, followed by Astral, Hutch, and SJF. Williams and Chica, as well as Cadee, did not finish. So we're going to take a bit of a break, have a little bit of a cool down, and then we'll be back for the second qualifying session for race 2. Welcome back. This is the second qualifying session for the second race of this evening's action for the season finale in the Intercontinental Series for the Formula Racing League Assetto Corsa Competizione. And 5 minutes of qualifying session. There's not a lot of time for the drivers to get their laps in, so this is why they're in a mad dash to get round and start a lap before the checkered flag does fall. And we've got one driver who has joined, and that's Jamie, who's in the McLaren. He's exited the pit lane. We've got all 16 drivers on circuit now, all looking to find track position. So I do have the updated championship standings, and Will Freeman in front by 38 points over Chris thanks to his third place finish, and it's GTJ in third on 133, Steve fourth on 128, Drifter in fifth on 117. So Freeman can wrap up the championship if he was to outscore Chris by at least 3 points and outscore GTJ by 2, and for Steve to not outscore Freeman by any more than 5 or 4 even. We'll keep an eye on the championship permutations, or the, as it stands, as they would call it, current championship standings whilst the race is going on. We'll go back to GTJ, who's just started a lap. It may well have been Hutch, who has started a lap. He's aiming for a better result in race 2 than what he did earlier. Track temperature has dropped, which is no surprise judging by the time. At the moment, 10 o'clock it is, it's saying, for Mount Panorama. This will add another challenge into the mix for the drivers. Now what we're going to be seeing from a set of pilots is the... Oh, that's too quick for Hutch. He's hit the barrier. That won't do the handling of the car any good. And you can see he's not going as quick as he was wont to do. He'll probably have to move out of the way for GTJ to go past. He's gone through the runoff area. He'll probably just wait for the whole field to get by. He's gone back into the pits, and he'll be out of time. So he won't be completing a lap in this qualifying 2. As GTJ wants to come round into sector 2. Jamie's in the pits as well, so he's not going to be setting a time in this session. .45 seconds left on the clock, so GTJ will get round in time to do another lap. He's coming through Murray's. So GTJ crosses over the line for a 2 minutes 16.0. What about those behind? Well, Slow's gone second temporarily before Chris has gone top. 2 minutes 14.4. That is the best time we have seen in either qualifying or race so far. In either qualifying session anyway. Freeman goes second, over a second off the pace. And then we've got Parker in 6th. And it's Williams in 8th. Way off from where we expected him to be. And Drifter only goes 7th fastest. And as Cesar comes through. So Sassar not able to settle that time, must have invalidated his latest run. So SJF, who finished the first race, albeit at the back, is coming through now. And it's not going to be a lap time for him in this one either, so he'll start at the moment 13th on the grid. 5 drivers are not going to be setting lap times. So the next driver over the line will be GTJ. He got over the line before the checker flag had fallen. Can he improve on his 4th place? So I can say that Astral is in 2nd position ahead of Freeman, so a decent effort from him. And this is GTJ coming through in the BMW. This is going to be an improvement, which will see him on the front row, perhaps. It looks to be on a better lap than we also last time. It's a good exit over the curb. Goes 2nd fastest, just under a couple of tenths away from pole position. And Chryses extended the gap slightly to nearly 3 tenths now. This is Steve crossing over the line. Is this going to be an improvement in his lap time? The answer is yes, he goes 5th. We've got Brizzle next in the Mercedes-AMG. He improves to 7th. And then we've got Williams, who will be the last of the drivers over the line. I'm not sure this is going to be an improvement. He improved his time, but stays 11th. So, Chryses will start on pole position once again in the BMW, with GTJ alongside. So the top 2 that finished in the top 2 positions in race 1 will start on the front row next to each other. Will Freeman 4th on the grid. So we're just waiting for the formation lap to begin. Now it's showing we've got 18 drivers in. It's showing that we've got 2 Astral racers and a Cadee, but Cadee's not in the lobby at the moment. So I think we're just going to have the 16 drivers on the grid. And so we're about to get underway for the formation lap. 16 drivers are ready. So what can Chryses do? We're now 38 points behind in 2nd place. He really needs to win this one and hope Freeman has a nightmare and to close back in. GTJ will be thinking the same, as will Steve and Drifter, who could well do with a victory in this. So we could be losing a few drivers from the running for the title heading into the last race of the season. What can the field do in the 2nd race? It'll be a different challenge to what it was in the 1st. We'll find out soon enough who will have the pace and who won't. So the drivers' headlights are coming on. So he's prepared to go for this formation lap. So Chris will lead the field off. It looks like Drifter has decided that he's going to start the race from the pit lane. Probably doesn't want to get caught up in any first corner mayhem. So here's your grid. Chris on pole with GTJ alongside. It's Astral and Freeman alongside. Stephen Slow on row 3, followed by Brizzle and Parker. Then it's Chica, who is on his own on row 5. Then it's Williams on row 6 alongside Brood. Then it's SJF and Cesar on the 7th row with Hutch and Jamie at the back. Drifter will start the race from the pit lane. Sees going for what will be his 3rd victory of the season. Chris can he control the pace in conditions like this? Look out for Cesar and possibly Jamie as well, because Jamie's shown some good pace in the past in this particular game cycle. The gap between Freeman and Chris is 38. There's 39 between Freeman and William and GTJ. And Steve, who is on 128, he's 44 off the top, with Drifter in 5th on 117. And coming out of Forest Elbow and onto the Conrad Straight. Now the fields are pretty much starting to slot into rows already. Well, it almost looks like they were. So as we watch Chris build up the gap. Oh, it was almost trying to build up the gap as forming the grid up now. Field are anyway. And then when the drivers cross over the start-finish line, that's when we'll go racing. Here we go then for the start of race 2. And we are off, and away we go. So down the inside comes Chris As GTJ looks to hold off Astral Racer. It looks like Freeman is about to make a move on him already and get into third place. He's done that. And there's a 30-second stop and go penalty, unfortunately, for Drifter. He must have been speeding in the pit lane. We've just seen him drop back, and he's back in the pit lane now as well. So could that be Drifter's race over before it even begun for him? And that's Freeman. Hitting the barrier there, it seemed. Did he hit the wall? He may well have done. He's holding the field up anyway, and he's allowing Chryses and GTJ to pull off into the distance. So Chryses leads, GTJ second, Freeman third, Astral Racer fourth, and it's Slow in fifth, followed by Steve in sixth position. I think Brizzle's got ahead of him actually, or may just be behind him in seventh place. It's Parker, Chica and Brood rounding out your top 10 so far. Well, a terrible mistake there for Drifter to be speeding in the pit lane in the way which he was doing. So he's now out of the running for the championship. Coming down the Conrad Straight. Chrissy's doing a fine job already so far. And then she'll be a 9-lap race. And so Chryses is extending the gap 1.5 seconds. Over GTJ Freeman doing well in third. As the field come round to start the second lap. As we watch Brizzle trying to hold up Parker in the fight for 7th place. And Parker on the inside into Hell Corner. Brizzle leaves him on straight. Oh, and that's coming together between 4 drivers there. That was Brood, left brakes and took out Brizzle and himself, really. Brood in the pits, out of the race, it seems now. And Brizzle will be absolutely livid there. That was far too ambitious there from Brood. So make a lunge up the inside, carried too much speed, and it looks like his race could well be over as well. What a shame there, and Brizzle will be gutted to drop down that far. I think Chica may have had a bit of a knock from that as well. It might have been Cesar who took a bit of a knock, who knows. So as we watch Chryses continue to lead out in front. And then we've got a battle for 4th place raging on. This is Slow behind Astral Racer, and Steve trying to get stuck in there as well. The field head down Conrad Straight once more. Cesar looking to keep up. Parker in 8th, Chica 9th. I think Parker took a knock from that incident with Brood and Brizzle. And that's how Chica to close in a little. So down to 14 runners at the moment. Brood and Drifter both out of this race. Not going to be scoring points. As Williams running in 10th ahead of Hutch, and I think Jamie's got in front of SJF in the final sector, and he's got up a position. And this is Brizzle looking to make a move on SJF. Looks like SJF runs too far out wide. That's going to give Bristol a good run. We'll pull out to the inside on this mountain straight. And GTJ's on the threat now from Will Freeman in the battle for P2. No, Freeman won't pull off an overtake here. It'll be far too risky. Field come through the S's. And continue to back on track. As Freeman is getting in front of the BMW. And Assetto Racer. Oh, that's slow actually. Slow has had a bit of an issue and he's lost a position to Steve by the looks of it. So Steve is through into 5th place. Freeman can get past GTJ, then that would put GTJ out of the running for the championship if Freeman was to finish ahead of him. If Freeman was to win this race, he will be crowned champion with a race to spare. There he goes, look, to the outside of the BMW heading into Murray's corner. Can't quite get through. GTJ almost ran him out wide, and Phil Freeman decided to back out of it and have another go. I think Jamie's in the pits actually. He's obviously picked up damage somewhere. He's had an incident on track, so his race is also over. And it looks like Slow has got back ahead of Steve again, so Steve obviously has made a mistake somewhere. And the battle of the two drivers fighting over second. Now, Freeman's not got a lot of time to get this move done and catch up to Prestige, so it's likely he does get through on him at some point. Right in his tail there, look, pressurising him into making a mistake. Oh, it looks like GTJ's run wise. This Freeman's chance to get through. He's going side by side with him, and he's through, no problem. So Freeman through into 2nd place, and 1 position away from clinching the title. Now, the gap was 38 points coming into this race, and if Freeman was to win, and Chrissy's finishing 2nd, the gap would be 42 points, with only 40 points up for grabs in race 3. And to be honest with you, I think even if... And it looks like Slow is in the pits. What's happened to him? Oh, and Steve has had a moment as well. And he looks like he may have picked up damage somewhere. So Slow has been in the wall somewhere on that lap. And it looks like Steve may well have picked up damage also. That moves Cesar up to 5th. Parker now up to 6th. Chica 7th. And Williams up to 8th place. So Freeman is 6.4 behind Prestige in Sector 2. It's now 6.5. And Steve now running in 10th place ahead of Brizzle. And I'm not sure if Slow's going to come back out on circuit now, to be honest with you. So it looks like Slow's race is also at an end. So 4 retirements from this race already. We're on lap 5, just over 10 minutes remaining. And Freeman pulling away from GTJ, and Assetto Racer 5 seconds further back. Looks like Parker going a bit too deep there, but he keeps the car away from the wall. Parker will already be up to 6th place in the Drivers' Championship. He could even snatch 5th from Drifter as it stands, and possibly 4th from Steve by the end of this evening's action, if he's lucky enough. And SJF also in the pits. So is that for a change of tyres? Or is that going to be the end of it for race 2 for him? It's been a car breaker in this one so far. We've got a yellow flag now in Sector 2. Well, what's happened here? Well, ooh, someone's in the wall. Is that Chica? It is. So Chica, the next to go into the wall. His race over as SJF leaves the pits now. So that was a change of tyres. So he'll come back out again. So Chica's race has ended in the wall. I don't know who he's come together with. And it looks like he's exited the lobby completely. I just hope he comes back in time for the final race. That's Parker running in 6th. Williams now 7th. Hutch up to 8th position. I think Steve has just been passed by Brizzle. No, he hasn't. But Brizzle's gone off track there for a little bit of lawn mowing. So he's back on track now. Just looks like he was going to go in the pits there, but he's carried on his way. And this is Steve pressurising Hutch for 8th place. And it looks like Slow has rejoined the circuit now, albeit a lap down. Might be 2 laps down, but we'll see as the race goes on. Steve not able to get in front. Oh, someone's in the wall. That is Brizzle, who has hit the barrier. And the bonnet is definitely damaged, you can see. He went in too quick there through the right-hander of Griffin's Bend. And this could well see him into the pits at the end of this lap. Oh, and now Hutch has hit the wall. He's got to be careful, just keep his car on the racetrack, which he doesn't quite do. He's off the track, into the gravel trap. He'll get back on. He's lost the position to Brizzle. And he'll rejoin in 10th place. Too many drivers struggling to keep the cars on the circuit. It's 7.2 seconds between Chris and Freeman. Now, if the positions were to remain as they were, the gap would come down to 34 points, which, if Freeman was to finish in 14th or higher in race 3, that would be enough for him to win the championship. But if he was to finish 15th in race 3 and Chris won the race, then that would be enough for Chris to be crowned champion. So Chris is going to have to hope Freeman doesn't score, basically, in the final race. And Brizzle's carried on. As Hutch rides the curb, touches the wall. Cesar keeping his car on track. Well, that's Parker, I should say, keeping his car on track, despite the contact he had earlier on the beginning of the second lap. So down the Conrad straight comes Chryses. The gap is 7 seconds. As Chryses closes in on SJF, who is already a lap down, but if he goes 2 laps down, he probably won't be classified as a finisher. So we've got 2 laps to go in this race now. Chryses looking very, very good. Oh, and Hutch is off again. And one of the headlights is missing. Well, it's broken anyway. And I think the car is damaged as well. Yeah, the handlings. The car just does not want to turn, does it? Yeah, it's handling really poorly for Hutch. You can see the black and orange flag being used to warn drivers of, or warn the driver of debris on the circuit. I think we're going to be seeing Hutch into the pits to retire at the end of this lap. As Chryses continuing to extend the lead, 8 seconds. As SJF gets out of the way. And Astral holding up Cesar in the battle for 4th place. Cesar is having a good evening so far. After his race 1 finish, he's moved up to 10th place, which could become 8th or 9th, or even 7th, I should say. Should he carry on with his form, ending his season on a high. He's done very well in the races competed in. It's been 6th in Laguna Seca, 7th at Suzuka, 5th in race 1 here tonight. He's currently in 5th place at the moment. We've got a yellow flag. Is that for Hutch's car? Yeah, it is. He's gone for a spin. Now, did he hold up Freeman? Or Chryses, I should say. Well, I can see Hutch going for a little off-roading. He's so far behind now. He'll just be desperate to get back. I don't know if he's going to actually get back in there. Yeah, the car is just not going to go any further with him. And SJF is back in the pits. And I wonder if Hutch is going to do the same. I'm not sure what on earth is going on with him. Well, Cesar is still chasing Astral Racer, and I think Cesar is through past him on the mountain straight. So he's through and up into 4th place now. Here's the Slovakian. It's been an excellent performance from him. And there's Hutch struggling to get back. Just slow the car down. And it looks like he's missed the pit entry. I think he's trying to steer the car, but it's gone on cross-side. No, he needs to bring that car in. Why he has not brought that car into the pit lane, I do not know. No, this has just been silly from Hutch. Really, really silly. Well, SJF has rejoined the track. He's now a full lap behind the field, but he's still only 1 lap behind. Why Hutch has not brought that car into the pits, I don't know. I really do not know. Because now it's going to cause a yellow flag situation, which means drivers can't pass. He's not exactly behaving well on circuit as well as he should be. And the race is actually finished because Chryses has won. So Chryses wins the second race here in Bathurst. Freeman comes through to finish in second, and GTJ in third place. And Cesar will be home in fourth, with Astral Racer coming home in fifth. Parker is sixth. Williams should hold off Steve. So there'll be quite a battle going on to the end between these two. I think Williams is going to hang on. One more corner to get through. Will Steve go for it? Not quite. So Williams is going to hold on to seventh, ahead of Steve. Grizzle a long way back in ninth. And I'm not sure if SJF is going to be classified. We'll take a look and see how far he's behind the rest. He's done 7 laps already. So I think once he crosses over the line and done his 8th lap, that'll be enough for him to actually get points. But for Hutch, I'm not sure if he will get any. I'm not sure if Slow will get any either. But finishing, well, he was 2 laps down on the leaders, at least. So Grizzle over the line, and then SJF will get 10th place. But there is your race result. Chryses is the winner, ahead of Freeman. GTJ third, Cesar fourth, Astral fifth, with Parker in 6th place, Williams 7th, Steve 8th, Bristle 9th, and SJF the last of the classified finishes in 10th. Hutch, I doubt he'll get points, to be honest with you, because he was too many laps behind. Slow, also too far back. Chica also retired. Jamie and Brood also didn't make it to the end. And then Drifter did leave the pit lane, albeit too fast, and decided to end it there. We've got one more race to go. The championship still hasn't been decided. It's still mathematically possible for Chryses to win it, but it's Freeman's championship very much to lose. All he needs to do is to finish the race, and he's champion. We're back for the final qualifying session of the season in a few moments' time. Here we go then for the final qualifying session of the season. And it's also the championship decider. 34 points separate Freeman in the lead and Cresses in second. No one else is in the championship battle now. So all Freeman needs to do is simply finish in the top 14 to guarantee himself the title, even if Cresses was to win for the third time out of 3 this evening. So that's all he needs to do. So I think all Cresses has to hope for is Freeman not to score, really. You see the drivers, unsurprisingly, in a mad dash to get onto the racetrack. It is rather sunrise. 6 AM it's showing in Mount Panorama. And 3 drivers stuck in the pits in the moment, just waiting to get themselves some track position before they do decide to head out on track. This is Drifter, who had a nightmare race 2. He started the race from the pit lane and then had been speeding and then just retired on the spot as soon as he received the penalty. Well, he's allowed the 34 of Cresses through. So Cresses will start a flying lap, and Drifter will get over the line as well, which means these two could possibly do 2 flying laps if they wanted to. Seeing more drivers crossing over the line to start their laps. It doesn't look like Steve, Brood or Brizzle are going to come back out to do a qualifying lap, so they will start at the back. Chica not saying a lap time either. Jamie also not saying a time. We've got 15 in the lobby at the moment. So Cresses continuing round. It's on course to complete this lap as we ride on board. As it goes down the Conrad Straight. And into 6th gear. And back down to 3rd gear. Line, and it's a 2 minutes 14.0. Brilliant lap time that from Cresses to put him fastest of all so far. Drifter very slow behind, but he can do another lap. He got over the line before the checker flag has fallen. Does Parker will be next over the line. He goes second fastest, but can do another run. GTJ's gone second, over 3/10 off, and the checker flag is out now. So we're seeing drivers over the line, including Freeman, who's not able to set a time. So 13th or lower is where he'll end up. And Cesar with no time. So I think we've seen a limited number of drivers saying lap times. So Hutch entering Murray's corner, drifting his way round. And is this going to be a lap for him? The answer is no. So this is Chryses heading through the S's. And there's a yellow flag out there. Not sure who that is for. Is Chryses finding enough time in sector 2? Not sure if he is, to be honest with you. Using the extra bit of tarmac on the outside to help him with his line through the chase. And he's got one more corner to get through now. He's complete his qualifying session. Will he improve on his time though? Sounds like question. Is yes, he does by 3/10. So Chryses continues to go quicker. Drifter not going quicker. Is Parker, who's got GTJ right behind him, crossing over the line, improves his lap time. GTJ goes second, just 600ths away from pole. So Chryses yet again this evening on pole position, but not by much. GTJ will line up second, ahead of Parker in third, and it's Drifter, the last man who has set a lap time, in fourth place. Williams will start fifth, ahead of Steve. It's Brood and Slow on row 4. It's SJF and Cesar on the fifth row, ahead of Hutch and Chica. And it's Astral Racer, Freeman, and Fresh Bristle, and Jamie. Some of them may not be involved in the race later, but we'll find out as the race does get underway. So we've got a title decider, 34 points separating the top two. As I already mentioned, Freeman only needs to finish 14th or higher to guarantee himself the title. Or if Chryses does not finish in the top 3, or in the top 2, I should say. So we've got 15 drivers in the lobby ready to go. It doesn't look like Chica is going to be in for this third and final race. This is the 7th race of this Intercontinental season. And the time, we'll find out what the time is when the race does get underway, but it's Chryses on pole. GTJ ahead of Parker and Drifter. Watch out for Freeman, who will be coming through the field like a rocket. Doesn't need to be taking too many risks. Let us know how you've been. It'd be good to hear from you. So 30 seconds away from the start of the formation lap. So the engine's starting to rev now. Should be seeing the cars go up on their formation line, and I think Brood has chosen to start from the pit lane. So he's just got to hope he does not make the same mistake as what Drifter did earlier. So there's Chryses. Slight connection issue there, but it's all right as far as we know. So can Chryses make it 3 wins out of 3 this evening? Even if he doesn't win the championship, it's still going to be a championship season to remember for him. He's given it his all. Freeman, yeah, race winner of Laguna Seca, will feel rather comfortable about the whole situation involving him. Can he keep his car out of trouble though? Of course, if one driver does retire from this race, it doesn't mean that Freeman is champion, because he could still not finish and therefore not score. And if Chryses was to win the race, then he would be champion. So what can Chryses do from pole? Will he just do as what he has been doing all evening and just pull away at the front? He can only do what he can do up front, and just hope that Freeman hits trouble. Now coming out of Forest Elbow onto the Conrad Straight, I should say. So Freeman will effectively start 12th on the grid now. He just needs to be careful not to trip over any of the other drivers ahead of him. And Chryses just backing the field up. You can't go too quickly on this formation or when the race does begin, otherwise he'll be given a stop and go. Field, as usual, Sandstorming rows of 2. GT does not, he's got to be careful not to be in front of Chryses when the race does begin, otherwise he could be given a stop and go. We're ready for the start of this final race then, here at Mount Panorama and for the Intercontinental Series. And Chryses is raring to go. When the field sets off, or when they see the green light, we'll be racing for one last time this season. And here we go. Green flag. and the drivers go racing. GTJ fends off Parker. Drifter goes to the outside. And so he's got the move done on Parker into third place. So Drifter up to third. Ahead of Parker. He's dropped down to fourth place. And that's Williams who's lost the position to Steve and potentially to SJF. And Cesar will look to get through as well in the BMW. SJF will have the inside line as they come into the right-hander of Griffin's Bend. So Cassis leads, GTJ second, Parker third. It's Drifter ahead of Parker, and then Steve and Williams with SJF and Cesar next behind. Freeman is up to 10th place so far. And Brood has exited the pit lane, no penalty given to him for speeding or anything like that. Wants to keep up. Chica ahead, so Freeman looking to get through, heading through the S's and the Dipper. As the field make their way through sets 2. Williams goes off the track at turn 1, losing positions to Cesar and Chica and Freeman. So that's a position gain there for the championship favourite. There's Parker on the inside of Drifter into Griffin's Bend, and that's him through into third place. So he gets back into the position that he started in. Does the Mercedes AMG pilot. So Drifter down to fourth place. Oh, that's someone in the wall. That's GTJ. He has hit the wall in that left-hander there of the cutting. And that's going to ruin the handling really badly. Drifter trying to make his way past Parker again. He can't quite do so. And there's a yellow flag. Who's that that's gone for a spin? It's the number 25 of Chica, who has had a moment. Has he binned it in the wall? He has, and the race for him is over. So he goes no further this evening, does Chica. He's had a wretched evening. So Cassis leads. And remarkably, GTJ hasn't lost as much time as I first thought. So he has dropped back from the BMW ahead. Parker will be closing in for sure, though, as they all come through sector 2. And Parker is now 1.8 seconds behind GTJ. And Cesar running in 6th, Freeman 7th. This is Williams ahead of Arch, an Astral Racer. I think Astral Racer's got in front of Arch actually, so this is Brizzle ahead of Brood. SJF and Jamie making up the rest of the runners. Still going. And Cassis has completed the second lap now. As it stands with the positions as they are, Freeman will be crowned champion. Now 7th place would net you 20 points. Cassis on course for the full 40. And it will be Freeman winning the championship by 14 points. As SJF comes into the pits. He's obviously picked up damage or something. Not sure exactly what's happened. He's down the order. And Steve behind Drifter in the fight for 4th position. Just hasn't been Drifter's evening, really, has it? Circuit not favouring him. And that's Freeman. He's behind Cesar. This is Chris on his 3rd lap, continuing to pull away. In regards to the battle for 3rd place in the championship, well, at the moment GTJ is occupying that. So he would finish where he is. Steve would finish 4th. Drifter's 5th place is under threat still from Parker. Cesar could be moving up the order if he's lucky enough, but he's not doing enough at the moment. He's got a hard charging Freeman all over his gearbox now as they come through towards the chase. And Williams under threat here from Astral Racer, and Astral Racer gets past him with ease, no problem. So he's through into 8th place, and Brizzle slotting in behind. He's ahead of Brood at the moment, who are fighting over 10th place. Jamie's got by past Hutch, who has damaged his bonnet yet again. It's been a night to forget for the Aston Martin driver. And it looks like Jamie's coming into the pits. Now, what is this all about? Has he had damage to his car? Looks like he may well have done. Well, Brood is on... No, sorry, that's Brizzle passing Williams for 8th position, or 9th place now, and Brood should take advantage and get through, and he has already done that. So Brood is past Williams into 10th place. Williams dropping back all the time. I can tell you that SJF did rejoin the race, by the way, albeit at the back. So there is your leader. Of course, for his 4th victory of the season, as it stands, it's not going to be enough for him to take the crown. And Freeman has got by Cesar for 6th position. He's got 5 seconds to make up on Steve. And he's got off the track as Freeman. Keep it on track. Cesar also running wide. Been a good performance from Freeman so far, doing everything he can. I'd say 3rd is where he's going to end up by the end of this race. He's 5.1 seconds behind Steve in sector 1. I'd say the gap has come down slightly. It's now 3.9. So it's a significant, and you can see a change there. That's Brizzle being overtaken by Brood now in the fight for 9th. Brood is through on this occasion, is he? Well, Brizzle's fighting back. Brood doesn't go for it into the chase. Oh, and that's the... say his AMG going up to... Oh, and Brood is clouted the wall. Now, surely that's upset the handling of the machine. Might have got away with it. Still not an ideal situation for him to be in, though. 3.5 seconds is the gap between Freeman in 6th and Steve in 5th. As they come through Griffin's Bends now. Steve also trying to get past Drifter at the same time. Drifter is not an easy man to pass. So Freeman has the 10-minute mark has passed. There's a yellow flag out there, and that'll be for the number 22 of Hutch, who's binned it in the barrier at Griffin's Bend. It's been a wretched race for him. 2.5 seconds to go between Chryses in the lead and GT3 in second place. Parker holding a brilliant third and pulling away from Drifter and Steve. So we're on the Conrad straight. Freeman doing more than enough for the title. See how good he's navigating his way around this racetrack of Mount Panorama. And over the line, 1.4 seconds is the margin as Freeman closes in on Steve for 5th. And GTJ's got the gap down between him and Chryses to 1.8 seconds at the end of that previous lap. As Drifter is now under threat from Steve. And Freeman will be joining that fight very shortly. Oh, Drifter's run wide a little bit. Steve may get a run on him through the cutting. Make their way through the hardest part of the circuit. And Steve not quite finding a way past, but he's just got to watch out for Freeman, who's closing in on him all the time. As they come through the S's. Now the dipper. And then we'll be heading towards Forest Elbow. And the gap is now 1.6 seconds between Chryses and GTJ. Make that 1.7. Still close though. And now we've got a three-way fight for 4th place. So Parker pulling away in 3rd place, on course for his best result of the season. He hasn't finished on the podium yet this campaign. And he's now just 3 laps away from achieving that. Freeman, can he get a run on Steve on the pit straight? Steve riding the curves heavily. Maybe a dive bomb here for Freeman into Hell corner. Doesn't go for it there. So sits behind for the time being. So down the mountain straight. They come. Up and then down. There's a yellow flag out there. Number 27 of SJF has hit the wall and has damaged the machine. Hutch has already retired in the pits, for your information. He's in the pits anyway. Jamie has rejoined the circuit. And you can see Drifter still holding up Steve and Freeman. 4 seconds behind Parker now. Here's the Chevrolet. And through the sweeping left-handers. Drifter nearly dropping it there. How will they all get through here? Keeping it all on the track. 1.5 seconds is the gap now between race leader Chryses and second place man GPJ. a good drive so far from Freeman. He's right up behind the Ginetta. And Son nearly been in it into the barrier, and we've got a yellow flag, and it's SJF who has gone round again. Now he decides to carry on, and fair play to him. And GTJ, look, he's gone a bit too deep there. He's dropped back big time from Crises. Let's park it in third place. And it looks like Freeman's got through on Steve, so Freeman is past the Ginetta and he's through into fifth place. Now, how long can Drifter keep him behind? There's 2 laps to go. And can the Aussie get a run on the pit straight? Goes for it on the inside. Drifter leaves him room. Does Freeman go in too deep? No, he doesn't. He's through. What a move from Freeman on the inside into Hell Corner. If that wins him the championship tonight, it's a fitting way to do so. But Drifter is fighting back. There's a yellow flag, and it's Williams who's off the circuit at the chase. While we watch Steve make a move on the Ginetta as they come through Griffin Bend, or Griffin's Bend. And Drifter has hit the wall a little bit. That may give Steve a chance to go down the inside. Can't quite do it. Someone is off in the middle part of the course. That is Jamie, who's spun into the gravel. I wonder if that'll be the end of his race for him and for this evening's work. And Hutch has rejoined the race, by the way, albeit a long way behind. I doubt he'll be given points. And that is GTJ. He's lost ground to Crises. And Freeman's through on Drifter. Well, we saw the move earlier on as Jamie stays out of the way. And Freeman's got 4 seconds to make up on third placeman Des Parker, who isn't going particularly quick, to be honest with you. He's lost a lot of time on this lap. And that is allowing Freeman to close right up on him. We've only got 1 lap to go at the end of this one. And Crises is about to start it now. So the gap was 2.8 through sector 2. Parker not negotiating the corners very well, to be honest with you. And all of this is helping Freeman to close in behind. We're now on to the last lap of the race, and the gap between Parker and Freeman is 2.2 seconds. Has Parker got enough time to pass him? Catching is one thing, passing is another. As Crises has opened up a gap of just over 4.5 seconds over second place man GTJ. Parker will be relieved that it's the last lap now. The championship is edging ever nearer for Freeman now. Checker flag will be waiting for him. Grizzle and SJF are in the pits, and I think that'll be for good now. Williams down a lap in 10th. There is Crises, not far from home now. And just seeing GTJ there. Has he hit the wall somewhere? Oh, he's just got out of shape. May well be the latter. But here's Crises. He's nearly home. Pitch of the season, he's third this evening. And so someone's has stopped out on circuit and come back into the pits. Might have been Jamie, in fact. But here's Crises, who's got 1 more corner to get through. He'll take the checker flag for the 3rd race running. car number 34. Chris Is wins once again at Mount Panorama. He has mastered this circuit this evening. GTJ will come home in second place. We want to go back to the battle for third place because Parker's going to hold on for his first podium of the season. But there's your fourth place man. Freeman crosses over the line to be crowned the Intercontinental Series Formula Racing League Assetto Corsa Competizione champion. Very well done to him. He absolutely deserved it from start to finish. Steve, fifth, ahead of Cesar. And then it's Brood and Racer. I think Drifter did cross over the line. Did he crash out or something on the last lap? May not have done. I think Drifter has been classified 6th. So Cesar will be 7th ahead of Brood. And it's Astro Racer. Williams will be 10th. SJF won't be classified. Neither will Brizzle. Jamie and Hutch will also not be classified either. I'm just looking at Drifter. I don't think he got over the line in time. Or he may have quit before he actually crossed over the line. So he may be classified 9th, in fact. So Williams is coming through. He only one lap behind, so he may have finished on the same lap, actually. And we're seeing the other drivers cross over. So I think Drifter will be classified 10th instead. And Hutch is out on circuit still at the moment. Here he's coming through. May well be classified, but we'll run down on the results. As he's done his bit. So here's your race result for the final race of the season. Chris Eves is the winner, but Freeman is the champion after coming home in 4th place. GTJ was 2nd, then Parker 3rd. Then it's Freeman ahead of Steve, Brood, Astro Racer, Williams and Drifter. Drifter falling down to 9th at the end. Then it's SJF in 10th, Hutch 11th. Both completed enough laps. Then it's Brizzle over the line in 12th. Well, he won't be classified, I don't think. Jamie wasn't classified. And neither, looking across the other drivers that competed in that particular race. So didn't even rejoin. Chica also retired. And that concludes tonight's action. So congratulations to Will Freeman on his championship trophy, and Chris finishing runner-up as a result, with GTJ confirming his 3rd place overall as well. Well, that's all for today. Thank you very much for joining us, and I'd also like to announce that this is also my last commentary gig for the Formula Racing League ACC. Thank you very much to James, who has helped put together this league for a particular game like this. It's just continuing from strength to strength. And also thank you to the drivers for competing this season in Tiers 1 and 2. And thank you to the commentators for Tier 2 on the work that they've done during the last few months in particular. All that remains for me to say is that it's time for me to move on to a new adventure, which will begin next month. I can't say what it is yet, but I will announce on my social media what it will be in the next few weeks or so. Thank you for joining us. And do make sure you like and subscribe as well so you don't miss any races on the channel itself. And if you want to get involved, feel free to head over to the FRL ACC Discord channel and get involved, and they can organise some trials with you so that they know that you are racing in the right tier. I'm Tom Cairns, and I'll speak to you again soon. To all of those in the Formula Racing League ACC, it's goodbye.